Good morning. Welcome to the Barnes Sunday morning services, Exploring Your Faith Hour. Thank you so much for being with me. You can get involved by calling the number on the screen there with your questions or comments. I do appreciate it. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How y'all?
Good.
Good. I'm glad you showed up. I want to read something. Let me see. How do I want to do it? Any questions for me about anything? Do you know what the theme is this year? What is our theme for the year? No. You don't know? Do you know what the theme is?
I forget.
We don't have mics today or something? Oh, there you go, John.
I say I forgot.
Yeah. You forgot. We need to have you on record saying you forgot.
You know what? It's something about the rock and foundation.
Something about it.
Yeah.
This
all right,
is,
that's all I can think of.
This is February already, right? And you haven't started doing it. You haven't, right?
Kind of, yeah, no.
You're going to get left behind.
I'll catch up.
Oh, good. Do you know what the theme is?
No, I hate to admit it.
So what?
I do not.
Wow. But you heard me mention it.
I heard.
And yet you don't know.
I.
So you're not doing it
I'm not
either.
going to fake it and try to come up with something.
No,
I
yeah.
don't remember it.
That's good. Don't fake
I
it.
don't remember it. Next time you ask, I will.
So what do you do during the week if you're not at least thinking about the theme once in a while?
Well, if I knew what the theme was, I could tell you whether I was thinking about it or not.
Well, no, if you don't know what it was, you were
I'm just
not.
playing lawyer here. What do I do during the week? I
Yeah,
try to keep
if you're-
myself from going off the deep end. Most of the time, that's what the day is.
Keeping yourself from going off the deep end?
Right. I mean,
And how
you
does
stay
one
patient.
how are you doing that?
You stay patient. You don't get too excited when trouble comes your way, and it comes your way every day.
Oh, it does.
And then when big success comes your way, you don't get too excited about that. When
Right.
people throw in with you and work with you and are working as your teammates, you're grateful for that.
Okay.
You know, I mean,
All right, but you don't know what the theme is.
don't remember.
No
sorry.
idea.
Don't remember. Sorry.
Okay. How about in the pink shirt in the back with the glasses? You know the theme this year?
I do.
What is it?
Build your house on a foundation.
Yeah. Building your house on a solid foundation. Isn't that cool? And this is like the best theme that we've ever had, I think, because I am learning a lot about my house and the foundation. I really am. Yesterday I participated in an event down at the African American Museum of Arts. Is that right? California African American Museum. And it's down on Exposition by USC. Anybody ever gone down there? Yeah, it's very nice. It's very nice.
Here by the California Science Center.
Yes. And what they had was they had the older men answering questions for the young men, black guys. Older black guys answering questions for the younger black guy. They were able to ask us, which group was I in, the older group or the younger group? I know, huh? The elderly, that's what they call it, elderly group. That sounds like an insult, huh? Elderly group. Elder. I feel like you should be walking on a cane or something. On one of those things you push like this. And Ed, do you think one day you'll be pushing one of those things?
I hope not.
If I ever see it, I'm going to laugh.
If you ever do, you have the permission to take it away from me and run down the street. Provided you're young enough to do that.
I'm going to say, poor Ed, what happened? Oh, God. Anyway, and it was a nice turnout, a lot of young folks there. And they had someone on from the 100 Black Men organization. And one guy, black guy on, a professor, he say, at Trade Tech downtown there. And another guy is, I guess he used to be a gang member or something. And he's supposed to be helping them overcome that now. And they had a moderator there. And it was interesting. But what was absolutely sad about the situation, you have all these young folk that were there. There were a lot of young black boys and girls there. And a lot of them are living in foster homes. They've been taken away from their parents. The government is now taking care of them. And the theme of most of those other elderly guys was that the white man is the problem. All our problems are due to slavery or past slavery. The white man took our land. Am I right? The white man took the black folks' land some 100 years ago. That's the theme. I mean, that's what they were pushing. And I was pushing forgiveness, stop hating your parents. You can do it in this country. The white people are not trying to hold you back. They have their own issues. We got to have love for one another. And I'm thinking about these elderly, is it elderly men? Elders. Elder men. Giving out this kind of advice to children who are already having it rough, not having parents there for them, being raised by the government. And this is the advice that they're giving them. Where's the hope in that, They're telling these 15-year-old, 13-year-old, 12, 14, and on, that you can't make it because racism is still there. And the white man is holding you back. And I thought about it later. Where's the hope in that? These are supposed to be some mature men who have learned about life, who have overcome different things in life, and yet they have this angry mentality is that you can't make it. It's such a sad way to live. And it's awful that this is the advice that they're getting, in South Central Los Angeles, and some of them were from Carson and other areas. This is what their leaders are telling them, that the white man is still trying to hold you back. And there's no hope in that at all. You're already coming from a tough situation where you don't have parents to guide you. So you're already feeling the pain of that. And then some adults are telling you of the same color that you can't make it in America because racism. They were talking about racism like Jim Crow was still in existence or something. Like there has been no change at all in America. There was no inspiration at all, inspiring you, encouraging you to get up and do for yourself. None of that, and it was just awful. And then you have some idiots in the audience, adult idiots. Whenever they would speak this stuff, the people applauding. Yeah. And then the government, one of the young guys asked, well, how come since Obama's been in the White House, the blacks are worse off under Obama than prior, right? And they were saying, well, the Republicans are holding them back. I'm like, look, no, that is not true. First of all, the government is never going to take care of you in the right way. They don't want you to be better in life. They want you to be addicted to the government. It doesn't matter the color of the person that's running the government. The government desires for power and control. They don't want you to be free. They don't want you to have a job. And I said, under Barack Obama, 20 million more people are receiving food stamps. Since he's been in there, 20 million more people are now receiving, it may be 22, but it's in there, are now receiving food stamps. Since he's been in office, 20 million. And then black Americans are like 12 to 13% of the population. Over 12% are unemployed. It wasn't like that prior to the guy. I'm like, the government is not going to help you. You got to get over this government mentality. You got to love your parents. You got to drop your anger. You got to work hard, save your money, invest your money, and have a normal life. And stop looking to someone else to take care of you. There are some good white folks and some good black folks. Bad white folks and bad black. It has nothing. It's all spiritual. It's the character of the person, not the color. So I was trying to give them a little hope, and some of them told me later they really liked what I said. Even though they were like nodding in the audience, they wouldn't applaud. You know, I guess they were afraid to. But it was very, very sad and interesting to see those men lie to those people, like those young folks like that. When I was growing up on the plantation under the Jim Crow laws, we had to pick cotton and do all that kind of stuff. We were not discouraged like that. I don't remember one time one black person tried to discourage us, adult person. I didn't hear them complaining about life. Grown people are not supposed to complain about life. Anybody here ever complain about life? Any of the adults? Oh, you do? Oh, why? Why do you complain about life?
Well, I complain because I'm not doing anything, so I guess I can complain.
How do you complain about not doing anything? Look at lazy me. I'm not doing anything.
Well, I could also say, well, because of my age or because of this or because of that, you know, just make it an excuse. So it's not a real legitimate complaint, but just something to get me off the hook so I don't have to
do anything.
Yes.
One thing I know as an adult now, it's a waste of energy and time to complain about life. It really is. It's just a waste of time. I'd rather call my mom on the telephone than to complain about life. If I'm going to waste some time, you know. It's a waste of time. Complaining about life. Who else complain about life?
I used to.
Oh.
I misunderstood your question.
You don't complain anymore?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah, it's a waste of time, huh?
There's a lot of things that are a waste of time.
Yes.
We call them fun.
I know.
Not being happy, having fun. There's a difference.
Yeah. It's amazing. But I'm going to try to contact some of those organizations from yesterday and work with some of those young people to encourage them to keep, get them a different mindset, teach them to pray and have faith in God. You were there. You had your hand?
Yeah.
Okay, you were there yesterday. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it and got to see firsthand how the liberal black leaders are doing exactly what you said, and that's channeling the pent-up aggression towards blame rather than help them understand and unravel their personal issues. And what I noticed is that you were getting a lot of people were agreeing with you.
Yeah.
These are the people that normally are agreeing with the Jesse Jacksons or people that were there, but they were also agreeing with you.
Yeah.
So I found that very interesting. I found that, hey, it gave me a little bit of hope that you can reach these people that have been, brainwashed and had been given an excuse to blame, society, et cetera. So it was good to see that you were getting a lot of positive response.
Yeah, it was nice to see it.
Yeah.
I've come to realize that people are suffering nowadays. They really are suffering within their families, their relationships, with their jobs, with themselves. People are really, really suffering now, and they're looking for some real answers now. I think they just want something that's going to help them to see how to overcome so much suffering, how to get along with one another, how to be free. And I think that's why a lot of people are agreeing. Because as long as you have this anger and this hatred in your heart, you're never going to be free. It's just not going to happen. The best thing you can do for yourself is drop the anger. You got to drop it. You had your hand? Yes.
Oh, no, I had my hand up earlier about the, I was just wondering if there was any, white professional or, a white person there to argue the hate that they were spreading yesterday.
There were a few there, but there was no way on earth, in hell or
They
heaven,
didn't say anything.
that they were going to speak up. No way they would have spoken up in that black crowd yesterday.
Yeah.
And they would have been too afraid. We had one white man there that went with us, And during the question and answer period, I thought he was going to say something, but no. He was sitting there looking like this. He did not say a mumbling word. And he's supposed to be a brave white man, kind of behind the headlines guy, you know. But no. But yeah, there were a few white people, but there were no way they're going to stand up and disagree with those folks.
You think those young black kids believed them?
Yes.
Really? I mean,
Absolutely. Because they have nothing else to believe but that. If you're young and you're hearing that all the time, you know, that's all you're hearing. And you're hearing it from people that seem to be people of authority in certain positions in life, you're going to believe that. You know, if that's all you're hearing. I believed it when I moved to California and started listening to all that stuff. At one point, I literally thought that white people were holding me back in life.
you thought what?
That white people were holding me back in life because of my color.
Unbelievable.
Because that's all I was hearing.
Because a
in
lot
the
of
community.
a lot of those black kids, you know, from foster homes, they have white social workers, you know, that have worked with them, and I was one of them, and you know, I loved them. I thought they, you know, I mean, I was caring towards them like, I mean, I've never seen color like that. I mean,
Right.
I'm only starting to see color now because of the reverse racism, you know, towards me. But before, I never saw that. I cared for them like I care for any kid.
Yes.
And so I'm just wondering, like, do they hate, if I was their social worker, would they hate me after, you know, they heard that? Or do they really,
They already hate you.
they already hate me?
Even while you're loving them, they hate you because they see you as the enemy. And even though you're being nice, if you ever disagreed with some other black person or someone they admired, or if you spoke the truth about the condition of black Americans, they would turn on you just like that. They will automatically think that you're saying it because you're racist. But as long as you're just being nice and, you know, sweet to them, that's fine. But you would not be able to speak the truth about the real problem in the black community.
But you always say to speak up. I mean, this is
You
now,
should.
yeah.
Yeah, you should anyway, but I'm just saying that, and then some, if you start speaking the truth and don't overreact to them, some will start to admire that, and then they'll listen to it, and that's when they'll catch on to it. Okay. Absolutely. Can you unplug that, this thing outside in the lobby there? Yeah, let him hold the mic until you come back. Go ahead.
Jesse, black leaders, liberal black leaders who say, you know, the black people are being mistreated by whites, they're saying that they're doing nothing different than what the Jews are doing when they teach their kids that people don't like the Jews, you know, and stuff. But I notice that the Jewish kids grow up to be mostly successful.
Right.
Whereas, and they're taught that you know, that people don't like them because they're Jewish and all that kind of stuff, you know, like black people teach their kids. But there's some disconnect going on where the black kids don't grow up, a lot of them don't grow up to be successful, whereas the Jewish kids do.
Well, that's because even though the Jews may be complaining about what happened in the past, they still have tight families. You know, they're well educated. They even start their own schools and make sure their kids are educated. They have a father and mother in the home, so they have good examples of what they should become. They own businesses. You know, they own businesses. They're doing their thing. They're not looking to the government to take care of their families. Whereas the blacks are complaining, but they're looking to the government to take care of their families. And that's the difference. They're not getting married and being a good example for the children and showing that even if life is tough or situations are tough, you can overcome it anyway. You don't have to be down and out. They are looking to the black leaders to think for them and do for them and for the government to do it. So the agenda is a little different than what the Jews are doing. That's why I like that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah.
Okay, to get a better picture of what you were experiencing there, listening to the other black followers, or I mean leaders, speak their mind to these young boys. You were listening to them, and you could hear them, but could they hear? Are they listening to you?
The panel.
I'm talking about these older men. Could they
Yes.
hear what you're saying as well?
Yeah, because they were yelling at me.
Oh, okay.
Well, they weren't
I didn't
necessarily-
know that.
Well, a couple of them yelled at me, right? Yeah, they were yelling at me,
Oh.
so they heard me.
All right.
They're like, oh, he's just a Fox News guy. Told me to listen to that Fox News stuff. I'm like, shut up. Yeah, so yeah, they heard. And then the game guy said, he was mad at me too. He was mad at me when I first walked. They served lunch for us, so when I walked into the area where they were serving lunch, they introduced me. These guys were already there, so they said, this is Jesse, blah, blah, blah. And the game member said his name was Pico something, Pico Boulevard, or something like that. And I'm like, Pico Boulevard, that's your name? And then I later found out that apparently he's down on Pico somewhere. He has near houses somewhere down there where he's working with gang members. But he was mad at me, and I found out on the stage later why. Apparently he came to my office looking for some help. And I don't know what kind of help he was looking for because I didn't meet him. I didn't see him. And he was mad that he didn't get any help because he said on the stage there, I went to your office to get some help, and I didn't get any help. And I just said, whatever. I wanted to ask him, what were you asking for? You know, because if he was asking for money or food, he definitely came to the wrong place. Once in a while, we may give you some food. It all depends on how Patrick is feeling that day. Most of the time when they get food, they get it from you anyway, right? Is that right? I noticed that if a black person is sitting at the front desk and they come here for some food, they're not going to get it. But if they catch Patrick at the front desk, they'll get some food. I guess you must be scared.
Yeah, I give him some potato chips once in a while.
Yeah. But, so I don't know what the guy wanted. But he was mad because we didn't get him whatever it is he was looking for. And so he went off too. So yeah, they heard me. They heard it loud. I made sure I spoke up too. I spoke really loud to make sure everybody could hear. Because I want those young people to realize there's another way to live. You don't have to spend the rest of your life complaining. You really don't. It's a waste of time to complain. I don't like people who complain. Have you ever been around a complaining person? It's awful, huh? You hate to go home. I got to go home to this nagging, complaining wife or my nagging, complaining children. You don't want to go home. Or husband. There's nothing worse than a complaining husband. And that's why I said wife and children, because nowadays you hear more men complaining than normal. I don't think a woman should be married to a complaining man. Do your husband complain?
She's using reverse psychology on me.
Oh.
She's the complainer.
Oh, she's the complainer. And now she's claiming you're the complainer.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Guys are easy
Yeah, we
going.
probably don't want to go here.
Guys are easy going for the most part. Don't you agree, Jesse?
Most part, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay.
Uh-huh.
I
So you don't complain?
I complain because she gets upset over trivial things,
Uh-huh.
and I try to help her with that. Like, look, there's no reason to be complaining about this. So I get upset because she's getting upset over trivial things. So I shouldn't probably be reacting.
You shouldn't.
I should probably just, like you said, let it go, walk
Yes.
out the door. But when I do that, she chases me down.
She does?
And follows me.
Are you
And
serious?
I'm like, yeah. And I go,
It's like,
Laura,
come back and hear my complaints.
yeah. I mean, once she gets started and she's on a roll, it's like she's got to finish that thought. And it's like if I'm trying to get out of the situation, it's like, I'm in big trouble. You know?
Wow. Is that true?
So I got to sit there and take it, and I always tell her, like, well, we got a little guy in the house now, so the best thing for us to do is go in the other room, because I don't want
You don't want
him
your son to hear it.
listen to that.
Right.
But she just, when she gets that fired up, her thought process just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So she gets really upset. Like, now I'm telling her what to do. Let's go in the other room to talk about it. And it gets like a snowball effect.
Wow.
But it's all because of, small, minor things. And
Yeah.
sometimes I do. You're right. I got to get out of the house to let her cool down, and I'll come back and try
Is
to
that so you
work things
chase
out
him
that way.
outside when he's trying to get away from arguing?
No, I mean, I should have never said anything. Wow, this is crazy. This is crazy. No, he was exaggerating. I
don't
don't
chase
chase
him?
him. No, I don't chase him. But yeah, I mean, okay, like, yeah, I want him to listen to me, yeah, so.
Oh, so you do chase him.
So I keep talking, I guess, keep talking or yelling or whatever.
Why do you need
So,
him to
because
listen? If you're arguing and he's trying to get away from that to prevent the argument, why do you want him to listen so badly?
Because I'm trying to make a point, or maybe because I'm trying to prove that I'm right.
That's
Yeah.
you're trying to prove that you're right.
It's control. She's trying to control me.
Right. That's a good thing. You're trying to prove it. So next time that come up on you like that, realize, hey, I got to stop. But just stop. Because you now understand you're just trying to prove that you're right. And anyone who tries to prove that they're right are wrong.
But I don't realize it in the heat
Yeah.
of the moment, you
That's
know?
right. Cause
Be quiet. Be quiet, bird.
I realize it every time, and I'm just like, every time, like for all these years, I'm like, Laura, we've been through this. I've talked to you about this, and it just, keeps on going on. It's
Yeah.
like she's not listening. I'm giving her gold,
Yeah.
I really am. I'm trying to really help her, and I'm giving her gold. And, when she reads the Bible, she feels better after she reads the Bible. And she's talked to people about her situation, how to handle it. And I always tell her, I go, if you go to a shrink, the shrink is just going to be there to tell you, because he wants to make a paycheck every week.
Yeah.
So he's never going to quite really totally help you,
No,
because
not
he
gonna
wants
make
you to
you
keep
free.
on coming back.
Yeah.
And I said, all you got to do is just listen to me. I'm giving you gold. It's all good. But it goes through one ear and out the other, and then we end up going through the same process over and over again.
Well, be patient. She'll come around in 50 years.
Yeah.
How long you been
when,
married?
when I'm 6 feet under, right?
Yeah. Just before you die, you're going to look and see the spark of light come on, and then you'll die. But at least you'll die with a smile. Yeah. How long you been married?
I don't know, how long?
Well, jeez. Since '87, we've, been with each other, and then in '96 we were married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys were living together prior to marriage?
18 years we've been married.
Wow.
Yeah, we were living together in sin and all that stuff.
Oh, that's okay. A whole lot of people are doing it.
Yeah.
It's not okay to do it, but
Right.
that's good. You feel ashamed about it. Yeah.
That's, we had... Oh, I know, but we didn't have a baby until after we were married,
Right. Good.
you know? So
well,
that's
repent of it and don't even think of it anymore.
like half
Yeah, move on.
sinful.
Half sin. Well, so you've been together a total of how many years?
A total, 87, what is that, 26 years.
26. So, and I say you start to come around in 50 years. How many more years he has?
No. He's
Before
going to come
50.
around 50 more years. So 76 years we'll be married? And
No.
then he'll finally get it?
No, you'll come around in 50 years, I told him.
Oh, okay.
So he has about how many more years?
From the 26?
Uh-huh.
24.
Oh.
Oh, 24 more years.
And the
Okay.
years are going by fast now. You notice that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
Okay.
Just make sure you pray.
Okay.
All right. Yes, sir.
The conference you had, you were in yesterday. I was wondering, of all the other people speakers there, did anyone offer any form of solution to their the problems they face.
Did they, John? Other than me?
No, you was the only one. It seemed like the format of wanting to help younger teenagers is a good format, but it just
Yeah.
seemed like the answers were all material
Yeah.
and all intellectual. When I first arrived, they wanted me to go into this room and get an interview, and their goal was to get 2,000 questions and answers of what black men had on their mind. I didn't participate. I'm not really like into the black thing.
Right.
And I was kind of thinking of something to say, and because I had left to go get something to eat, and I came back, and the only thing I could think of was to follow Christ.
Yeah.
But it was good that you was there, because no one else was putting the truth out there.
Yeah, that was amazing to me. These are like young folks that need help. They're coming from bad situations already, and they're getting bad advice, worse advice. These young people, and it was just mind-blowing to see that. Absolute mind-blowing. But hopefully we were able to help some. God didn't have us there by chance. You know, there was a reason for it. How many people believe that, how many of you have ever been chastised by God? Only one person? Do you believe that God chastises us? You do believe that? So you do believe he chastises us, right? You do. And have you ever been chastised by God?
I think so.
And are you able to tell us how did he do it and why?
Well, I know I was, let me put it, I think I told you a long time ago I had cancer. And I needed to have cancer because the way I was going,
Yeah.
I probably would have really been in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So, you know, he just
That's
said,
such a
man,
perfect
here's cancer.
example.
You know, you lay down and look at yourself, you know.
Yeah.
And I did. And actually, I'm fine. I don't even feel like I ever had it. I mean, or ever went through it, even though I have, my body has altered and changed or whatever, but
Right.
so is everybody else's. So, you know,
Yeah.
but I feel fine.
Good.
With
That's
it.
a perfect example. The one thing I realize about God now that we're focused on building this solid foundation, he does correct us. He does chastises us. Those who are children of God and those that he loves, he does do that the way a father would do it. And he does it because he's trying to prevent us from being destroyed by sin. And I didn't realize that he did that until recently. But he does chastise those that he loves. But if you're not aware of that, you don't know that that's what's going on, and you would feel the pain of what he's doing, and you would think that it's negative. You would think that something is wrong, and not realizing that he's trying to slow you down so he can keep you from falling off the bridge into the water. He really is. And I want to read something to show you about that. Ed, can you come read this for me? Sure. This is in Hebrew, the first one I want to read, Ed, is
I need 3 hands here.
chapter 12, 1 through 13. All right? This is so nice. I want you to just listen to this. You don't have to read, because if you read it, you may be distracted. And so you can listen and then read about it later. I really want you to hear this. All right? You're going to start. This is Hebrew
All the way to the bottom?
12, all the way to the bottom, yeah. You got to stand in the circle. All right.
The example of Jesus Christ. With so many witnesses and a great cloud around us, we too then should throw off everything that weighs us down and the sin that clings so closely, and with perseverance keep running in the race which lies ahead of us. Let us keep our eyes fixed on Jesus, who leads us in our faith and brings it to perfection, for the sake of the joy which lay ahead of him. He endured the cross, disregarding the shame of it, and has taken his seat at the right of God's throne. Think of the way he persevered against such opposition from sinners, and then you will not lose heart and come to grief. In the fight against sin, you have not yet had to keep fighting to the point of bloodshed. God's fatherly instruction. Have you forgotten that encouraging text in which you were addressed as sons? My son, do not scorn correction from the Lord. Do not resent his training, For the Lord trains those he loves and chastises every son he accepts. Perseverance is part of your training. God is treating you as his sons. Has there ever been any son whose father did not train him? If you are not getting this training, as all of you are, then you would be not sons but bastards. Besides,
And you don't want to be a bastard, right? So you better be happy you're giving you a whooping. I can see my grandmother whooping me now. You bastard.
she never said that.
No, she never said that.
Besides, we have
You
all...
know what a bastard is, right? All right, so I'm not cursing. All right.
Besides, we have all had our human fathers who punished us, and we respected them for it. All the more readily ought we to submit to the Father of spirits and so earn life. Our human fathers were training us for a short life and according to their own lights. But he does it all for our own good, so that we may share his own holiness. Of course, any discipline is at the time a matter for grief, not joy. But later, in those who have undergone it, it bears fruit in peace and uprightness. So steady all weary hands and trembling knees, and make your crooked paths straight. And then the injured limb will not be maimed. It will get better instead.
Thank you. Isn't that nice? Hebrew, Hebrew, chapter 12, and that was verse 1 through 13. And so only 2 people here have been chastised, or 3, by God, huh? So I guess he doesn't love the rest of you. If your father is not whooping you, then you're in trouble. He doesn't love you. I want to talk about the best way to, when you are being whooped or chastised by God, I want to know, how do you let that happen, because a lot of people won't allow it to happen, and that may be an issue too. And so we want to talk about, how do you allow God to chastise you, all right? But I think I saw your hand first here.
There's many ways of being chastised. I mean, I remember being young.
Chastised.
Or chastised.
Well, however you say it.
But being young and just doing something I shouldn't be doing. And I'll go ahead and do it anyway. And it's like somehow something really terrible would almost occur and happen to me. Because I think I've
Yes.
almost lost my life. I don't know how many times. And all of a sudden, I would be praying. I mean, it would bring me to pray. That's how bad, serious it was.
Yes.
So in a sense, I was being chastised because he was showing me, you're in this car and the brakes aren't going, it's snowing, and you're in the mountains and your car's going woo, 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 like that. And
Yeah.
I'm at a place where I shouldn't even be in the first place.
Right on.
Stuff like that.
Good. Good
That's
example.
another way.
Yeah. I saw, right here. So you've been chastised by God?
Yes.
And can you tell us about it? What's the best way? Did you allow God to do that to you, or you fought back?
I didn't allow it, but he made it happen.
Oh.
I was chastised last night about something, and I prefer to avoid my conscience by just going to sleep. I was up late, and it's like God didn't allow me to go to sleep, and they just put a kind of a certain pain on me. And it just like it was like a pain of teaching. It was like a pain of, I don't know, there were no words into it, but it was a pain of correction. And I took it only because he made me take it in a way. Because I didn't intend to. I intended to avoid it by going to sleep.
Right. Did you know at the time that was happening?
Yes.
That you were being chastised?
Yes, I did.
You did? Because it helped to know that that's what's going on. It really does, because if you don't know that that's what's going on, you'll go get drunk, or you'll get high, or you'll call somebody on the phone, or you'll eat some food, or whatever to avoid it, because it can be pretty painful. But if you know what's going on, you're aware of what's going on, then you're able to endure it.
I was so tired last night, I should have been asleep right away when I went to bed. But I was kept up for about a half an hour or 40 minutes or an hour. I don't know how long it was, but
Yeah.
it was, I'm estimating, anywhere from a half hour to upwards of an hour, just for that.
Did it finally pass?
I think so. Well, I went to sleep at some point, so
Oh, okay.
woke up. So
And when you woke up the next morning, It
I
felt
wasn't
like,
thinking of it next morning, so I think it had passed.
oh, okay.
But it definitely had me like in this zone for a while, just kind of like, teaching or something. But there was a pain to it, but it wasn't like a hard pain. It was just kind of a gentle instruction, but there was some pain in there for sure.
Oh, okay. And so if you were advising someone, you're walking down the road and someone asks, how do I allow God to chastise me? What do I do? What would you say to them?
The only thing, like I said, I didn't allow him to do it.
Oh, you didn't allow
He
him.
did it, and the only thing I can say that was helpful is that I knew it was being done to me.
Right.
So
But how did you not allow him to do it? What did you do?
Well, let me put it this way. Once he got into doing it, I didn't fight it in a way.
Oh, okay.
In other words, I intended to avoid it by going to sleep. He didn't allow me to go to sleep, and then he chastised me, and then I didn't fight the chastisement as it was going on. Once he awakened me, instead of letting me sleep,
Right.
I didn't fight it during that time. I allowed that.
Who don't understand what he's talking about? You don't understand what he's talking about? Okay. She doesn't understand.
Okay.
I'll try to add on to it as we move forward. You said he's done that for you too, or to you?
Yes, sir.
And did you know at the time that what was going on, or did you think something else was happening?
I came to the conclusion that exactly was going on. And let me just tell you a little bit of my experience of what I felt, because it's really indescribable. It was similar to what Patrick felt, and that where I couldn't fall asleep, but it felt like an intense light was shining directly at me, and I was getting really sleepy, but that intense light wouldn't allow me to sleep. I was tossing from left to tossing from one moment, because I was entertaining something that wasn't healthy for me to do. And I wanted to do it, and I wasn't letting go of wanting to do it, but that it was like an intense light, just continuing on and on and on, and I was like your conscience. It was actually my conscience.
So was it telling you not to do it?
It wasn't talking to me, but it was chastising that need for me to do what was not good for me, and eventually I was able to repent of that need, and then it went away.
Oh, okay. And did you know at the time that God was doing this to you?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
I did know
okay.
at that time I was doing it. And it's interesting though. Even though he was doing this to me, there was something so stubborn in me that wanted to still do, on top of that chastisement,
Right.
still wanted to do, but it just seemed like it got even greater and greater until, the feeling that I got was just unbearable. And it just, after that, and the next morning I had the fear of God in me. I said, wow, that was a pretty powerful, because it lasted for 5 hours. Actually more than that, probably the whole night.
What does the fear of God feel like?
It feels, to me, it felt like if I ventured in and did it anyway, despite all that chastisement, that my soul was going to be ripped to shreds.
Oh,
That I was just totally going to bring so much incredible suffering into my life that I would not know how to run from it or how to hide from it.
and so once the pain was gone, you got past this, the pain of it was gone, you felt relaxed. Did you
Yes.
go back and do it anyway?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Now that the whooping has ended.
Yeah, and I don't, it's gone. I don't want to do it if you give you $1 million. So.
I realized the best way to go through a whooping, and I kind of, when I was growing up, I don't know if parents do it now. If you did something wrong, your grandparents will whoop you for it. They're like, go get me a switch. You ever had that happen? And so like, my grandmother used to say, go and get me a switch. You're going to get a whooping for doing that. I told you not to do it, right? And so I'm thinking, this woman is telling me to go get my own switch so that she could whoop me, right? And so I would come back to a little small, thinnest thing I could find. And then I later found out that that was the worst one because it hurt more. The thinner it is, the more it hurt. So I started getting a little bigger ones so it didn't hurt that much. But I had, and I knew, even though I didn't want the whooping, I knew she was right for giving me the whooping because she had told me not to do it, whatever it was, and I did it anyway. But there was a sense of appreciation for her later about it, that she had shown love to me. And I wasn't thinking the way I'm thinking now that she was showing love, but I knew that she did it because she cared for me, because I found myself not doing it anymore. And then I found myself having respect for her because she had taken some kind of action to make me realize that I had done wrong and not to do it anymore. And so I realized the same thing is happening with God, is that he does that because he does love us. He's like a good father to us. It's unfortunate that you're not allowed to whoop your kids anymore. You go to jail or they'll take them away from you. The government will. And so the kids are not even experiencing your love in that way. You know, you say time out. They don't care about no time out. Because as soon as time is up, they're right back into what, time was out for, right? But if you were able to, the Bible says spare the rod, and your kids end up messed up, right? But, so I had that appreciation. And what I realized, the way that God chastises us is that when we do wrong, he'll kind of warn us that we're doing wrong. You need to stop. And then if you don't stop, just before you're about to destroy yourself, he just let it all come down on you. And it feels awful. It feels absolutely awful in here. And then while you're having these feelings, Satan is busy like 90 going north, just adding on to thoughts and telling you the worst things that you can possibly imagine. You're going to die, whatever he tells you, right? Like with the cancer situation. You're going to die. You brought this upon yourself. You did this and blah, blah, blah. Everybody died from cancer. Look, Aunt Susie died. Your mama died. He's playing with you too, and that adds to the pain because it brings fear. You think, well, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I have come to realize the best way to deal with this whooping when God is giving it to you is do absolutely nothing about it. You have to act like grandmama is whooping you. There's nothing you can do about it. You have to just take it. You really do. And the best way to go through it is to at least admit to yourself that you were wrong. And you say, you know what? Yeah, I was wrong. And then it's easier to go through it because at that point, Satan can't use your denial against you. He cannot bring all those thoughts of fear and worry and insecurity. But as long as you're in denial about it, then he can play on your mind and cause you to do something to end the pain, to do something, take a drink, whatever, right? But if you come out of denial and realize you deserve exactly what you're getting and don't try to protect yourself from the outcome, miracles will happen in those situations. And you would know that there's no way that would not have happened, that would have happened without God. That miracles come out of nowhere. You couldn't even imagine the help he would send for you. It was like, it's mind-blowing. It'll just come out of nowhere. And you know it's from God. And that just adds on to your joy and love and appreciation for him. But you got to go through it. You got to be mindful of your thoughts so you do not go with them because they're all fear, they're all doubt. They give you what happened, they show you what's going to happen to destroy you. So if you can be mindful of your thoughts and stay in prayer, you can make it through the whooping. And you'll come out on top, a better person. Because he's doing it because he loves us. And he's trying to reach out to you. He's doing what our earthly father should be doing. You know what I'm saying? And so if you could just know that you're wrong, you're getting what you deserve, watch your thoughts and stay in prayer, you'll come out on top. To never go back and do it again. You believe that? But you got to, of ourselves, we can do nothing. In those moments, too, you got to let go and let God. But you must pray. The last thing that Satan wants you to do is pray. He does not. Two things that he doesn't like at all. He doesn't want you to pray, and he doesn't want you to be mindful of those thoughts. He does not want that. The moment you get into prayer, he gets busy. His little demon spirits get busy to even talk to you while you're praying, to prevent the Holy Spirit from taking over and presenting itself or himself to you and helping you and rebuking the demons from you. He get busy, and it's so unfortunate because a lot of folks will go into their prayer closet and they'll come out and they'll say, oh, that wasn't really a good prayer. I didn't really pray that well, or that one didn't feel like yesterday's prayer. And they don't realize that even in prayer, Satan is trying to keep the darkness in your life so you won't see the light. He's talking to you even while you're praying, and you believe it's your own thoughts or that it's you doing it or it's from God. It is not true. And that's why he doesn't want you to pray. He doesn't want you to connect to the source within. You got to commit to prayer if you want to build this solid foundation. You got to be still and know him. But you must be mindful of thoughts. And I think I have something in the Bible to back that up too here. But you got to be that. You got to, all you need to do is pray and watch. Watch. That's all you need to be doing. You need to pray and watch. It's Satan's enemy. He hates that. That's why he constantly tries to bombard you with thoughts. He doesn't want that little light to get in there. All right? Will you remember that? And all you need, just to think about this, all we need to do is pray and watch. And it's the two most difficult things to do for most people is to pray and watch. And most people don't pray. How many prayed this morning? See there? Some didn't. Why you didn't pray this morning?
I rely upon the scripture that says Spirit intercedes for you. So I don't even try to do anything consciously because I know that I'll mess it up. There's nothing that I can do that will satisfy me as my own judgment, in whatever I was supposed to do.
You've been deceived.
I don't try to do anything.
You need to pray. I highly.
No, I'm saying I'm praying subconsciously, but the Spirit's praying for me according to the Bible.
What do you mean you're praying subconsciously?
Like I might do it like get up, and I don't want to make a big deal out of it. So I guess I'm praying like.
So let me just ask: do you pray or you?
I am, but I try not to be aware of it. I do it kind of like a light thing without being strenuous about it, if you want to call it that. I try to do it very almost like.
How are you going to pray without being aware that you're praying?
I don't know. Go ask my inside somewhere down there. I don't understand it.
And you said no, you did not pray this morning too, right? Why not?
I didn't get up early enough.
You did not get up early enough. Amazing. Isn't it like totally amazing? Mm-hmm. And the reason you didn't, because Satan didn't allow you to. You believed him. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
God said, seek first the kingdom of God. Put him first. Prayer first. Satan said, no, sleep in, don't worry about it, you can do it later. Or Satan said, well, you don't have to get out of bed to pray. Just lay here.
Yeah.
The next few minutes you're snoring. And then you wake up from the snoring in prayer, and then he judges you for that too. He's like, oh, look at you, that wasn't no prayer. You're going to catch hell today. And then you walk through all day afraid. It's a setup. It's absolutely a setup. He hates for you to watch your thoughts because they're not yours, they're his, and he hates for you to pray.
So I think I can explain exactly what I guess this is my prayer, and that's basically putting on just a different attitude in that morning of like being thankful. I don't say any words. I don't actually kneel. I don't pretend like I'm praying. So I guess I try to change my attitude into like the attitude of prayer, but I don't say any words or nothing like that.
Okay.
So that's basically all I do.
And you did not pray this morning, right here. She looked so innocent, huh? She looked like prayer.
I actually had something else to say.
You did? You say you had something else to say?
Yes.
What?
When you said that, like, kind of God punishes us or
Chastises us.
in order to wake up, I realized that sometimes it doesn't happen with us, but it happens to our loved ones that hurts even more. Instead of, like, even if it happened to you, it wouldn't hurt so much, but if it happens to your loved ones, it hurts even more.
So when you see your loved one being chastised by God, that hurt you?
It hurts me because yes.
Why?
Because I think that I have my token in there. I have my fault in it. Maybe God is punishing me by giving this pain or like by hurting my loved one. It's a wake up call to me.
Oh, so like when God is chastising your loved one, you feel the pain because you caused the problem for them?
I don't say I caused it, but I may have my token in it. I may have my little bit of part in it.
Oh, so you're feeling guilty then?
Somewhat. And it's kind of not feeling guilty so much, but it's another type of wake-up call.
Well,
That's what I think.
I would, if I were you, I would get out of the way of that. If your loved one is being chastised by God, I don't know how you would know anyway, but let's say you did know. I would let that happen. I wouldn't play God and get in the way of it and take on someone else's pain. That is happening so that they can repent of sin.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wouldn't get in the way of that.
To be honest, I'm not trying to get in a way on it. I mean, on a way. But the thing is that I think that it's kind of wake-up call to me too, just to slow down a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, if you can learn from it, that's good. Absolutely. Did you pray this morning?
I did not.
I'm sorry?
I did not.
You did not?
No.
And why not?
I did not wake up early enough.
Amazing. Did you wake up early enough to have breakfast?
No.
You didn't have breakfast either. No prayer, no breakfast.
No.
Did you wake up early enough for Satan to talk to you?
Not really.
Did you pray this morning with the pink? Oh, you did. Good for you. Right on. She said yes. You have a quick question for me right here? Did you have a question? I saw your hand.
For me? No.
Yeah,
Real
not a
fast. We
question,
have
but
about
just
2
a real
minutes.
fast comment. You know, when you were talking about chastisement, there was thoughts that was convincing me that, why does God got to do this? You know, what does he get out of, what pleasure do he get out of beating up on us, chastising us and all? And I was going along with that. I was actually feeling,
now?
yeah, I was feeling the pain of that as you were saying it. And I was like disagreeing with this whole chastisement thing. I don't like it. And then I realized after that, I come out of it, I'm like, oh, that was my thoughts fooling me.
Yes.
And I was relating to them.
Yeah.
I was relating to these demons talking to me and feeling what they were feeling.
Be grateful that it's happening.
Yeah.
Be
And-
glad that you love you enough because he could not bother you with it.
That's true.
And you can end up in a different location. Robert, come and read this real fast. Is there something the devil's sitting there telling him, no, God shouldn't be doing this? This is unfaithfulness and punishment. Read that. That's Hebrew 12, 14 through 17.
Okay, where's 12?
This start right here. Put your mic to your mouth. Can you read?
Yes, I can.
Well, why are you acting all nervous?
I've never done this before.
Well, hurry up. We don't have time for you to be tripping.
Seek peace with all people and
Speak up louder.
seek peace with all people and the holiness without which no one can ever see the Lord. Be careful that no one is deprived of the grace of God, and no root of bitterness should begin to grow and make trouble. This can poison a large number, and be careful that there is no immoral person or anyone worldly minded like
I didn't know you read so badly.
I'm sorry.
I just took for granted because he was white, he could read.
Well, it's the first time here, so.
Okay, we don't have time now.
Okay, no problem. Sorry.
Okay.
It was at the spur of the moment.
So all white people can't read. Thank you. We got time? Oh, read it for yourself, folks. But the most important thing, pray and be mindful of your thoughts. All right? Pray and be mindful of thoughts. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you all for coming. I appreciate it.
For more information, to purchase a copy of this program, or to make a donation, visit us on the web at bondinfo.org or call 1-800-411-2663. That's 1-800-411-BOND.
You're already home.